All right, you guys, welcome to our Monday night call. I know a lot of you guys had sports with your kids and sick kids and still working. A lot of you guys are working at 9 o'clock at night, Becky's. So I will definitely record this. I am so excited. I want to kind of give you guys a little background. But first, before I jump into the team call, remember, there's a couple days left in the month. I know a lot of you guys are literally at Success Club 4. And remember, when you hit Success Club 10 or above, you actually get free customers and free leads and stuff. So make sure and follow up those last people. Lock in Success Club. We've got just a couple months left, or a couple days left, because y'all know after Halloween, everybody needs your butt. They're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I ate all the Reese's peanut butter cups, and they're gonna be like, oh my God, I need your help. So perfect timing tonight for Lindsay's call, as it's been a really long time since I've done a free group, and I'm excited to have Lindsay talk about this. So Lindsay and I live in the same state, and I just love her and her husband to death. She has these twin boys that are just amazing, and she is just a ball of light every time you see her. But I wanted to read some of her statistics off to you guys. So she is 11-star diamond, which is amazing. She is hitting elite 4 times in a row, which means she's been in the top 1% of the company for 4 years. She has never missed Success Club, you guys, for 102 months. That means that she has helped, for 102 months, she has helped 5 to 10 people. You guys, and a lot of it, Lindsay and I were talking about last weekend. We were at leadership together, and she was talking about how she rocks these free groups, and how she really just has, kind of has a knack for them. And so I'm gonna let her kind of take over, and I want you guys to be typing in your questions and you name it, because this is an area that I think we all can learn from, and I'm excited to see what she shares. So Lindsay, I'm gonna let you take it away.
Awesome. I'm not on mute, am I? I'm good?
We're good.
Okay. Do you want me to share a little bit of my story, or you want me to just
introduce you? Definitely. I would introduce yourself, because
Okay.
It's funny. I don't even know if I know your very first story. So
Sure.
I'd love to hear it. Yeah.
Okay. Hi guys. Thanks for having me. So my story is crazy, and I'm going to try to summarize it as best I can, because I've been in the business for over 8 years. Well, 8 years. And, so what got me into health and fitness first and foremost was I had heart surgery. I was really young. I was in my 20s, and I found myself in an emergency room after nearly fainting in a bar. And I literally had just walked into the bar. It wasn't like I'd been enjoying myself. I literally walked in. I was in the city of Chicago, and the next thing I knew, I was in the bathroom, and I was like, things are happening. Something's not right. And I was in an emergency room, and then I was told, you need heart surgery. And I was like, okay, what's going on? I'm really young. No. And they were like, we need to do it really fast, because what you have is dangerous. And so I had a condition called Wolff-Parkinson's-White syndrome. So it's not heart disease, but it's an electrical thing. And basically, I can be sitting here right now, my heart can be beating out its chest, I've been doing a crazy workout or something. And so I had to have surgery. And the biggest thing about that surgery was it was 5 hours. I thought I was going to die that day, because I just freaked out. I was young, and I just thought my world was ending. And I'm like, I haven't had a family. I haven't done anything. I just went into it with my brain, fighting to stay awake through the whole entire surgery. They were you're supposed to sleep through surgery. This was not a stay awake surgery. And I literally fought to stay awake, because I thought I was never going to wake up again. So I came out of that surgery, and I just vowed to change my life. There was no Beachbody yet, but I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know how I was going to get there, but I knew I needed to lose weight. I knew that I wasn't married. I was nothing. I was just Lindsay with no kids, nothing. I was like, I am way too young for this. This is crazy. And I drew a line in the sand, and I got very serious about my health and fitness. How those people we're talking to out there in the world are like, oh, I don't have money. And then they, they buy Kylie lipstick or they buy something. All those things that I was doing, I was like, all money, everything is going into my health, because that was the scariest moment. And I know that not everybody needs like a scary moment like that for a life change, but that was mine. And then through that, I found a gym, met a trainer, paid him $150 a week for 3 workouts. He was awesome, don't get me wrong, but it was a lot of money. And there wasn't meal plans, there wasn't shakes. Like, he'd be like, go to GNC and buy this or do that. And he did actually guide me to Beachbody. So that was really cool. He, my doctor was like, there's this Turbo Jam workout and you should really do it. And I remember looking it up and being like, too expensive. No way. This was before Challenge Packs. It was like $60. It wasn't even like, looking back, I'm like, Lindsay. And then my uncle was like, I'm doing P90X right now. You should totally do it. It's awesome. I'm like, I'm a gym girl. I don't know. I don't do that. And it finally took, and it was like, God, like, girl, I keep trying to put this in your face. Like, hello. And finally, the trainer who I trusted, right, was like, hey, you're not with me all the time. So when you're not with me, I need you to do this insanity workout. And I was like, are you serious? Like, are you serious? This really works? And he was like, yeah. And so I had burned like 4 of the workouts burned. And through that, I got this crazy message on Facebook, because I went and liked the Insanity page back then. And like, you could find the people that liked the page and you could message them. And I went and she wrote me this novel, and she looked like a Barbie doll. And I was just like, this lady's crazy. I don't know the deal. She was like, oh, join my team. But like, the most uncomfortable invite you could ever get was sent. Like, novel, link, all the things that you are not supposed to do. And I just remember being like, is this a robot or is she for real? But I started watching her. I just started watching her, and I was sort of like, is she real? I'm not a commenter. I'm not a liker. I'm none of those things. I'm a watcher. I'm one of those people that you have no idea or you maybe send a message to and they're just not interactive at all, right? That was me. And every Thursday, she would be like, it's payday. I'm so thankful I get paid to get fit and home with my kids. We're going shopping. Every single Thursday, she would talk about this. And I'd be like, okay, I don't get it. But I never asked. I just kept watching and watching. And she was like, she would message me over and over and over and over and over. You'd be really good at this. You'd be really good at this. You should look into this. And I was like, I don't know what you're doing, but go away. I'm just going to do my burned copy. Leave me alone. And, but I'm going to watch her anyways. Right. And over and over and over. And I was out here posting motivational quotes and doing things. And she was like, seriously, you'd be really good. 8 months. And I finally was like, I was in such a bad financial position. We were paycheck. Well, I actually lost my job. They closed down the business. So we were paycheck to paycheck, or I was, and then I was 0 paycheck. We were losing our house to a short sale because of so many we were surrounded by a community of these older people who were just bottoming out their husses. They were just like, sell it for whatever. Like, people, they would die and the kids would just sell their parents' house for lower. And it was just a nightmare. And my husband had bought this house. And so he was losing it. It was just, we were in such a bad financial shape. Credit cards were, in bad shape, and I'm not working. I did the thing, I did college, went to college, did what you're supposed to do. Corporate life was not working for me. I just made a post about this today. Every time I would drive to my job, it was an hour commute, and I didn't know what kind of boss I was going to get. I didn't know if she was going to be cranky. I didn't know if she was going to be positive. I didn't know what I was going to get. And I would literally be like, oh my God, like, what am I dealing with today? Right? Monday was not fun, and the environment was awful. And when they closed those doors, it was like throwing a party, but I also was losing my income. So I was like, I just remember thinking there has to be more, number one. And number two, I'll work as hard as I can to never have to deal with someone like this ever again in my life. And I got real nervous about the corporate world. But also I was like, hey, if I want to be a mom, how do they drive the hour? How do they do I couldn't process, like, how do you do all of that and be a mom? Like, you're going to get home at 6:00 at night, like hustle through the night, and you're going to like go to bed. And this makes no sense. And so meanwhile, my friend, my coach was posting over every single week, same thing, creating a vision for me. And I was just like, after so long, I'm like, hey, fine, tell me what to do and I'll do it. I will sign up, tell me what to do and I'll do it. And really, Hal, my husband, was a big part of that decision, because I'm like, I'm just going to go back to college. I'm just going to get a degree in exercise science. I'm going to just, because like I was getting real big into health and fitness, kind of being worked with the trainers, situation. I was like starting to see results. I was feeling amazing. And I really wanted to stay in that field. So super passionate. People were blowing out my inbox. Like, what are you doing? How are you getting results? So finally he's like, what's the worst that happens? You get some new workouts and maybe you earn some money, maybe you don't. He's like, why are you so afraid of this? And I was like, I don't know. Okay, fine, I'll sign up. So I signed up. And then just to kind of bring you into from there, I learned I have an autoimmune problem called PCOS. I didn't even know about that yet, but I learned, I came into the business like guns blazing, and about 3 to 4 months in, I learned I was going to have an infertility battle. I knew I had PCOS. I found this all out the week we were supposed to go to leadership. It was my first leadership I earned. I had a miscarriage that week. I found out the doctor was like, we're going to have to go through some infertility to like see. I had no idea what my life would look like, because then I went from this heart surgery to this, will I ever have children? I'm miscarrying. I'm supposed to be at this leadership thing. And I have this PCOS thing that looks really scary when you Google it. When you Google all the things, I was like, oh my God, this is not happening. And so it was a really rough week. I ended up not going to leadership, and looking back, I probably should have gone, because now that I understand the community, I was so nervous. But I did not go that week. And from there, it really helped me kind of understand who to connect to. And then I put up the infertility fight as I built the business, never missed a month of Success Club or helping people. I really did. I leaned into the team. I leaned into the business. And now I have twin boys, as you know. They'll be 7 in January, which is crazy. So that's pretty much my story. Sorry, it's kind of long. I feel like I could go on, but we live in Arizona now. We moved from Chicago, got our house. Like we were able to build a pool, do all kinds of cool stuff. So life has really changed. Insert the income disclaimer. But anyways, here's what I want to tell you guys about. This is when I started the business, I was able to go to 5-star Diamond, develop a very significant volume income, whatever you want to call it, through this strategy. And I refined it as social media has changed, because we didn't have Instagram back then. We didn't even have challenge packs back then. So this is going to sound a little different because we didn't have challenge groups. So this was like my version of a group to keep people in a safe place who simply were not coaches yet or did not have a coach. So like literally, I like to call this my strategy to 5-star. I mean, it really is a great way. It's duplicatable. It'll help you develop diamond coaches if they will do what you teach them. So I literally, like 2 to 3 weeks into the business, I was the girl, the girls who, those girls who like add you to a million groups and like sell you on things. I was that girl. I was like, years ago, I was that annoying person, but it wasn't all crazy back then. So I have a new way of how to go about it. But I funneled all my friends into a Facebook group. My mom was like, create a group. I'm like, group? What's a group? She's like, group, click on this button, group, put all the people in a group. So I put them all in a group and I called it Fitness for Life. That was like my theme at the time. I was still like shocked of the heart surgery and just like fitness forever. Like never, ever will anything come above my health ever, because no way do I want to face that heart surgery again. That was awful. And so I set up the group called the Fitness for Life. And that's what you do. That's the first thing you do is you set up a group, and this is going to be your community, and you brand it how you want. And I know Rhonda's a queen at this, but like literally I have girls who are obsessed with a toxic-free life. And I'm like, your group should be branded around toxic-free living, not Fitness for Life. It should be literally around what you love. I mean, you can run, I guess you could get into beauty, if you will, but there needs to be a health and fitness component in there as well. So just be mindful of that. But I mean, really theme it as you want to theme it. So my original group was called Fitness for Life, and I'll tell you kind of like the rabbit trail I went down. But my goal was every single day to add 2 to 3 new people to the group. And back then it was me simply going out to Facebook pages, because we didn't have Instagram. Like, do we have Instagram? We didn't have Instagram at that point. We had Twitter, Pinterest, and Facebook. So I went to Facebook pages, and I would go to like Runner magazine and like, you know, I don't know if there was a lot of healthy eating pages, but I did a little bit of Beachbody pages, and I would be like, do you have a coach? How's your health and fitness journey? Well, I wouldn't ask that first, but I would ask like, hey, you know, my name is Lindsay. So nice to meet you. How's your health and fitness journey going? Or something that like, I would just kind of dive right into that question. And I would always send 20 messages. That was just my thing. It's always been my thing. And I would find that about 2 to 3 would reply, just to kind of give you a numbers, 2 to 3 to 4, depending. Some days were more, some were less. But through that, I was able to add them to the group. So be like, hey, I'm running this motivational group. Do you want to be a part of it? Have you worked with a coach? Depending, and everything depends, right? Because you guys, Instagram is obviously where everyone has gone to meet people. And that's a whole, like, you could be meeting people on a Mom Loves Disney page that has nothing to do with health and fitness. So you have to bring the combo to where, hey, I have this group. And you have to decide if you want to ask that question first, or if you want to put them through an invite to join your team or a boot camp. And then if they say no, default to this. Those are optional choices. And I always say, feel it out, because sometimes it's good to just go directly into, hey, I'm running this boot camp, and then default. And sometimes it's good to start with a free group. So those are your call, your business. You get to decide. Back in the day, before challenge packs, it was my goal to just fill this group. And I'll tell you some other strategy for how I also grew this group. So 2 to 3 friends per day. And then something you can do in the group is themed posts, or I think I call it themed posts. So like Monday could be a motivational quote, or an inspirational quote, or a faith quote if you're a faith and fitness type of group. Wednesday can be a recipe, and then Friday can be a fit tip, a story, freedom Friday. Like, you can get creative, and you can schedule all of that, because I'm aware that we are busy and we don't have time for this. And sometimes if I'm not scheduling, I am like, oh, 2 weeks have passed, and totally missing the boat on the group. Because you don't always have to you have to give your boot camps energy, right? And you have to give Instagram stories energy and things like that. And sometimes you can just completely space your free group situation. A lot of people do that. Like, they'll run free groups and they're like, oh yeah, I forgot I had a free group. So I just made sure there's scheduled posts going on, and I switch it up. And then what I do now, this is where I tweak. So like at a period of time, they introduce the challenge pack and challenge groups. And then they introduce clean eating free groups. And I was like, okay, all right, I can. And I by the way, my system was working magically until the shiny things started coming my way. And I was like, oh, okay, so I'm going to run this. I'm going to do this. And free clean eating. And I had 10 different free clean eating groups. And one day I was like, they're all over. There's like 50 to 100 people in all these different groups, and they're everywhere. And I'm just posting in all these groups, and I'm like, I'm crazy. Like, this is crazy. And so I was like, why am I not filling them all in one group like I originally did? Like, what is wrong below? So I was like, hey, there has to be a better way than this. And so I had an assistant come in. I was like, we need to clean these out, move everybody to one space, which is why I created a new group called Fit and Free with Lindsay. So I changed it up, and then I tried to do it again. I started creating another group. I was like, no, stop with the swirling, like, stay focused. Everybody in one place. That is a community that will build, and over time, those people will eventually get on board with you because they keep seeing you show up. Okay. So within this free community, you can run your free challenge. Hi. I'm like, duh. Like, I was running my free challenges in all these different, groups, and I had, 50 people here and 40 people there. And like, I have a headache thinking about it, looking back on it. But what you do is you create an event in your free community, in your page. Okay. So you go to the events, create an event, 3 to 5 days max. Don't get beyond that. Don't get crazy. We're talking about adding value, serving people. Really, we're building trust with them. Like, they're new people, you're building trust. Through this, you tell them to invite their friends and you will grow your group, right? You can run a contest about add your friends, add your family, add anyone that will benefit. And I'll tell you like a little bit more about what I run my free challenge around and how you can think through this. But I work to grow the group. I'll post on Facebook. I'll put posts out on Instagram. Like, I will pull Instagram and I will funnel as many to the free group, because the bigger you grow it, the more opportunity to build trust with these people. And it's just a nice little hub for people. I know like stories is a great place too, because they're watching us, and that's great too. But I love this, and it worked really well for my team. And I'll explain how I duplicated it too. So when it comes to the free challenge, there are amazing free challenge resources, guides, graphics on Etsy. There's a girl named Danielle Nazir, Nazir, and she must have like 50 different free challenge options that you can totally pull from. Crockpot, right? Instapot. I think she has something like the Mexican like meals, like it's like a week of eating Mexican type of healthier choices. I mean, she has so many options, and they're super pretty, and you can buy them and they're yours. So I tried running a handful of different like free groups, and not every free group works. So you have to play with this, like Sugar Busters or Beat the Halloween Treats, or like there's a lot of things that you guys can research on Etsy with this. And it does a lot of the work for you. Like, she creates a ton of content, grocery lists and all the things, and it's worth it. And so I was thinking for a long time, I was doing this sugar thing, and I was like, it wasn't doing okay. And finally it clicked one day that like my audience, like really know your audience, they're busy and they're trying to figure out how to eat healthy without cooking, because I burn things. I burn all the food, literally all the food. And I was like, if I run a challenge and teach them how I eat healthy without cooking, because it just doesn't happen. Like, Hal is the cook in the house. And if my husband, he's the cook. And if he's not there to cook, I still got to eat, and I got to figure it out. And I can't just, go to fast food. Like, we already know, no. And so I created a challenge around an air fryer, because what I figured out is if I throw things in that thing, I can make them crispy, yummy, and cook them. And like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not doing anything. It makes my life easy. It goes quick. Some people love the Instant Pot. I've got girls on my team that keep running groups around the Instant Pot. That thing scares me, but mine is all based around the air fryer. And so day one, I go live, and this is what I think is a game changer. I go live and I share my story. First, I introduce myself and share my story. I tell them exactly what I do as a business. I am not hiding it. I'm not going to wait till Friday or the final day, whatever day that is, and be like, oh, and join my next group, because they're not going to join, because I never told them in the first place. So I always am clear that like, we're going to talk, here's how this group's going to work. Here's how it's going to run. So I'll set expectations. Like, I'm going to be posting all kinds of amazing things. I'm going to be live a couple times. I want you to be interactive, and I'm going to put some prizes out there. And then I'm going to tell you how to work with me even on a deeper level at the end of this. So they know right away, okay, she's going to sell me. I don't know if sell me is the right word, but if she is going to invite me to be a part of something else. And so day one is that's how it works. It's laid out. They know my story. They know that I help people get healthier, and they know that I can help people build a business. Like, they know this because I put it out there right away. And then I tell them how the group's going to be run, how the expectations will work of it. And then I end the video. I try really hard to not get it too long. The original like first shot was really long, and I think I've gotten it under 10 minutes. Cause people, they don't have time. So I try really hard to like summarize my story, but give them enough that they get to know me, and then expectations and future options. And so, then I, remind them to keep adding friends to the group, and the posts get scheduled out, which as you get your, whatever package you decide to get, if you choose to get it, you don't have to, you can create your own graphics, but I don't have time for that. So I just order, and I ordered like, it's like the Busy Mom package or something like that, the Busy Healthy Eating something. And it's perfect. It's like snacks, grocery list, tips. I mean, it's so much content. And so we schedule it out. And day 3, I go live from my kitchen, hot mess in my kitchen. And I'm like, this is what's in my fridge. And let me walk you through exactly what I eat. And I will be like, when it comes to protein, we need to cook it. So yes, that has to get cooked, ladies. Like you're gonna have to figure this one out. Either you're gonna grill it, you're gonna throw it in an air fryer, you're gonna throw it in a oven, or shout out to those of you who can Instapot the things, because I don't. And like I'll just be very Lindsay on it. And it's funny how many are like identical to that, and they're just like, I don't cook the things. And it's like, hey, I figured out these are my people. So I'm literally walking through my fridge. I'm like, those prepackaged salads, I eat them. I'm not afraid of them. Like some people feel like they need to, buy the spinach and buy the cucumber, chop the things. And I'm like, that's not me. I buy the prepackaged, and I don't even mind using the dressing sometimes. Like I just don't have time, busy. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, just be mindful of, and I'll share the tip for those of you who've done 2B Mindset. Alana has this great tip where she dilutes dressings with water. So it's more dressing, but it's less on the calories because she dilutes it with water. And people love that. Like they're on board with that idea because they're like, oh my God, I can still have the things that I love. I can still eat the food. And I will walk them through my favorite desserts. I'll show them how I've found things like mini ice cream cones at Trader Joe's, or just beach bars. Like I'll walk them through the pantry. I'm like, so these are the snacks I have. And the beach bars, they'll see Shakeology, and I'll pull out the packet, and I'll be like, this is why I drink this. And then I break down why. Cravings, and I eat the whole pantry if I don't. And I just like walk through my Shakeology story. And they, it doesn't chase anybody away. I feel like that can be really scary for people sometimes. Like, I don't want to think I'm selling them, but it just doesn't. It's just like, this is what I eat. This is how I've gotten results. And that's day 3. Yep. And then one time I went to Trader Joe's during the challenge, and I was like, do you want to see my haul? And they were like, yeah. So I like came on as a bonus. And I was like, so I bought these veggies, and I'm going to put these into the pan, and this is just going to become a stir fry, like super simple. And then and I just walked them through the groceries. I was like, I don't remember, but I was just going through, like, you guys think about, like, what is it that you do that's simplified to get yourself results, but isn't, like, how do I say, isn't giving away everything to where they're not going to sign up with you. Does that make sense? So, for example, I can talk about water being the king to weight loss, because you need to drink a ton of it, and sleep being next to that over everything else. It's water and sleep, and then comes your veggies, food, and then actually working out is after. It's like that's just how it works. But that doesn't give away, in the case of, like, let's just take 2B Mindset, for example, that doesn't give away the full system. I just say, I learned this with my nutrition system, and this is how I've lost 35 pounds, and I just keep telling the story. So they're like, what is the system? I want the system. And I'm like, and you drink the water. And so I give a little bit, and I walk through exactly what I'm eating, but I don't like give the full system. So then they still want to join me. Does that make sense? So these are things to think through, like, what is your core program? I know MM100, there's a story around that, right? I have never been a morning person, literally never, ever, ever loved mornings until this program. And now I don't even know what to do with my life because I'm like, who are you? And why do you get up early? Like, who are you? And that's a great story to share. And another, piece to that is talking about if you're a mom and you've got to hustle the kids off to school, and you know how you get those people who are like, oh, just all the things, I'm so busy. And it's like, it is 20 minutes and you're done. And it's fun and you feel amazing. And I'm constantly telling that too. So just think through like that story that is yours to share. Okay. And then I will ask a question. I always want to know, what are you struggling with? Like, what are you struggling with? That's a simple thing we can put on stories. Like, where are you struggling in your nutrition? That's a famous, like, way to get people and help them, is because they'll be like emotional eater, don't know what to eat, too busy to eat, and they'll put their excuses, right? They'll just like comment and they'll interact, and now you know exactly how to help them through your free challenge. So that's like one of my last questions, and then I'll get on the final live and I'll answer those questions, and I'll be like, I learned all about this in my nutrition system, and I never say like fully it's 2B mindset or anything, but I'm just like, I am getting ready to launch a new group. I've got 5 spots available, and you can utilize promo codes now because we've got that stuff. And I literally will be like, comment below if you're interested, or drop me a message in my inbox if you're finally ready to like take to the next level. And you guys know how to do all of that. But literally every single time now, since I've implemented this strategy, every single time, three to 4 will join. It's crazy. I'm like, whoa, this is so great. So before I implemented that strategy, how it worked, and that's my 4th tip. How it worked was, and I still do this, but these are just 2 different options, is in general, in a free group, you can find that you will have people who are not ready to pay yet, right? And they might be open and willing to post sweaty selfies. They might be asking questions. They might be sharing, hey, I found this recipe, and they start to bring energy to the group. In the beginning, before free challenges were a thrift thing, before Instagram, like all before the things, what I found was they would be posting all their sweaty selfies in the group. They would be asking questions. They would just be bringing energy to the group because I would. And I would privately message and be like, have you ever thought about being a coach? You'd be really good at it. Like, you're doing what I do. You're literally doing it for my group. You're just not getting paid for it. And these people weren't on Shakeology or anything. Like, they'd never experienced that stuff yet. And they would be like, I am? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I am? So that's just another way, especially if you're running a free challenge, those who are super active, those are your people. They'd be like, you feel really good at this. You can identify people who are giving serious energy, are going to be incredible coaches because they're doing what we do, especially if you run a free challenge. And I don't run a free challenge like every week. So there's weeks when they're commenting and doing things, and I can still reach out and invite them to become a coach, and I can still grow the group. And like, that is what my coach did for me. She was constantly in my inbox. You'd be so good at this. You'd be so good at this. You'd be so good at it. She just kept believing in me. And I was just like, okay, lady, no. And she's like, no, really, you'd be really good at this. And it took me a while for me to believe, like, me, really? Like, I'd be good at this? And it took me a while to trust that she genuinely was building a real business. Like, because that's what's happening, is a lot of people feel like I don't know what people think we're doing, but like, I feel like you get a lot of resistance because they just, I don't know, they think we're scamming them, or, I mean, that's what I thought it was. And that's years ago. I was like, yeah, okay. I couldn't process how she was doing it. And I didn't want to ask her how. Like, I wasn't willing to ask. I wasn't open to hearing it, but I was watching like crazy. And she was running a fitness and nutrition page. And I don't remember, she was a nutrition was her jam. And she'd always be sharing these tips about veggies and things. And it was just crazy. And so, you know, that helps too for me to really believe and trust her, because she was constantly showing up. So anyways, these are a lot of just like bonus tips. But yeah, I would privately message anybody bringing energy to the group. And I would tell them to bring energy to the group. I'd be like, you can do so many creative things. You can run the free challenge. You can run, there's these cool like Spirit Week type of challenges you can run in the group, and people who are just like, I want to play, I want to participate. Those are your people. Like if they want to participate in a challenge, odds are they'd make an amazing coach. It's like that simple to identify someone that would be an amazing coach. So privately inviting them and telling them they'd be amazing. And I never thought to invite just to the challenge group. I was like, oh, we're going to talk about coaching because you'd be really good at it. And would you like to learn how to earn some extra income while you work on your health and fitness? Like that is like my famous question, because that's how I did it. Like I came in still working on my journey, but learning how to earn while I was doing it. And then what is so cool about this whole process is because you've brought people through this group, because they've been a part of it, because we leave them in there and it's a community, you're not creating all these new groups, they are watching how you work. And so what happens is when they join you, it's create your group. Let's start adding your friends into the group. And P.S. the tip is, we used to add all the people, and then Facebook, people got annoyed. So the tip is now you just send them the link and just say ask to join. Like that's all you do is just change it to just ask to join the group, and they'll come right in. Don't click on the invite. Don't even try to add them. It's just, in my opinion, useless because of just the changes. You can find these people on Instagram. Most people have a Facebook at this point. Some don't, but most do. You can find people, I found people on Twitter for a period of time because Facebook went crazy. And I remember being in a position where I was just like, I'm not growing anymore. There's no more people. And Mindy Winder was like, oh, I'm building on Twitter. And I was like, Twitter? Oh, okay. So I learned how to build. So there's people everywhere, literally everywhere. Which is why I've never missed Success Club, because I realized you can't run out of people if you really get out there and look. And really Instagram is a great place to still, and so is Facebook groups. There are some great groups out there where you can still connect if Facebook's your jam. But they came through the free group. They've been in the free group. Now they want to become a coach. They watch me. Some of them watched me through our Success Club trips. Because if you create an album on Facebook, they watch it, and they're paying attention to what you're doing. And now I also make sure to be like, oh, I did a thing in my stories today. So then they know to go watch there. I just try to keep them eyeballs on me everywhere I'm going. And I try to keep it simple. Instagram story, Facebook story, group, simple. And so anyways, they're coming through the group. And they know how to duplicate it because they're like, okay, I'm just going to do what she did. I'm just going to post a quote, or I'm going to post recipes. I'm going to post my own workouts. I'm going to add friends to it. I'll run a free challenge in it. And I get in the group with them. My first 5 diamonds, I got in their groups with them, and I would identify who their builders were, because they're new and they're learning and trying to get their feet wet, get everything flowing, learning. And I would get in there and I'd be like, that person would make an amazing coach, because it's very easy to identify in a Facebook group who would make an amazing coach. I mean, it's the same idea as the people who've already bought challenge packs in your challenge groups. They're the ones who are showing up, posting, excited. If you're running the app, the Challenge Tracker app, they're the ones who are logging in every single day. Those are your best coaches. Literally, they're your best coaches. Your biggest challenge is getting them to believe they're going to be a great coach, and will they do it, right? Those are the 2 challenges that will they do it, and do they believe they can, right? And that's our job, to instill that belief into them. And it was just as simple as, you're rocking the group, you're doing amazing. You should be doing this with me. You're just not getting paid for it. And so in recognizing them and believing in them, and then with my coaches, I would get in a message thread with them and with the person, or I would just privately message the person myself and be like, hey, I'm so-and-so's coach. So nice to meet you. I love you. Your posts are amazing. You are so incredible. I still do this to this day. I will see people come through and I'm like, who is that? Who does she belong to? Who is she? I want to know her. I want to get to know her because her energy is amazing. She's so sweet. She's killing it. Who is she? And who does she belong to? I want to talk to her. And that helped me to help them gain confidence in talking to people, and they were able to see how I talk to people. They were able to see how I would bring people on board, and it would help them go emerald and then go diamond. And it really worked because they would then tell their coaches to set up a group. And you know, I know some people are all Instagram nowadays, and I think that's the one hesitancy I'll get from some who are just sort of like, I just don't do Facebook. And it's like, but the groups, you need the groups. So yeah, so those are the things that we've done. I'm trying to see if I have anything else. Do you guys have any questions?
That was amazing. So I have about 2 pages of notes and questions.
Okay.
If I could ask you, first
Sure.
of all, I love how you run the actual event through the group. How smart is that? So I have a bunch of questions. I'm going to start from the beginning. So how long do you run the groups?
The community group is always going.
Okay, so continually. So it's not like a week or 30 days. It's like continually.
Yeah, it's been there for years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, you can grow these groups to 100,000 people, and like I know it's extreme, but the group has been there. I don't know how long, for however many years. And another really cool tip about, I hear my kid getting close. Sorry, he's making a noise, and I'm like, should I go lock the door before he works his way over here? Sorry, but another really cool tip is you can click on members of the group, and you can like. I'm on a call. Thank you. Sorry. You can click on members of the group, and literally scroll through, and you can literally just follow up with these people. And it's not the best tracking system. I still have a tracking system, but it's not a bad tracking system to just spend a day and being like, hey, how are you? How's your journey going? Hey, how are you? Is there anything more I could add to the group for you? Oh, that's something I do during the free challenge too, is I'll message a lot of them on the side, and I'll just be like, are you loving the challenge? Is there anything more I could add for you? Anything more. And I did have a lady say, I'd love to learn more about kids' healthy snacks. And so I put together like a PDF, and I actually sent an email. I was like, collect their emails, Lindsay, collect their emails. So I was like, post your email below, and I will give you a free PDF on kids' healthy snacks. And so we just put some pictures together, put together a PDF, and I emailed them like, thanks so much for joining the challenge. I use Streak, so everybody went in there. Thanks so much for joining the challenge. And I want to make sure you know about the 2 spots I have available in my whatever boot camp or nutrition, whatever you're inviting to. Reply back here. I have a promo code. I'd be happy to give it to you. And they will, some of them will reply. So that's a bonus tip. But yeah, I run it always. But I don't run challenges always. Does that make sense? So like the actual, like if you guys want to do a clean eating or a sugar busters or a whatever challenge, I do not do those like every single week. And the weekly is just like a quote, a recipe, very simple stuff. Okay. So then it's still moving along. But if you if you're traveling or you just can't add value to the group, it's all scheduled out. And yes, I have an assistant help me do that. So if you have an assistant, good. If not,
if you guys haven't figured out how to schedule posts, you can YouTube it, and it teaches you how to schedule posts on Facebook and groups. And it's so easy to do. I don't do it, but if I'm in a situation where I need to, I definitely can. I love, if you guys didn't write this down, I love, Lindsay, you said like 4 things that you will always do: is a themed post, maybe a faith post, a recipe, and fit tips. So just something to kind of share in them. Do you run these free groups with your coaches on your team, or is it just you with the people that join you? What do you do with that?
So that's I don't have a very clear answer because I need to keep the group for my potential people, and a lot of my potential people turn into my coaches, so they're in there because they're watching and they're seeing. And then I have a couple coaches that just want to observe so they can understand how it's working. And then but I would love to run free groups with my peeps.
Yeah.
So instead I just sort of let myself like be a part of, let me in their free group, but I don't bring people in because I want to keep them.
It would be very difficult to know, like say I had a group with all the coaches, how do I know who's, so there's like 150 people and I'm like, how would I know? Because like when I've ran free groups, I've had them by myself as large as 50.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine. So I like that. I even thought about what if I did this, because I'm thinking about a free group and where my theme post is a makeup tutorial, and I've done this before in the past, but it's been about 4 years. And what if I like went live or did videos for my team and showed them everything I did every single day? And then maybe they saw that. I'm just trying to figure out, because otherwise, like if we do the whole team, it could be like 400 people, and they would know who's people.
It's easy for a newer coach to do it with their newer coach.
Yeah.
But the way I trained them in the beginning was everybody had their own group, literally, and we just as the leaders, the ones who brought these coaches in that would, not everybody's willing to do the group, by the way, and the ones who were the builders. And so we literally it was just a position where we were willing to go in and give some time to study who's in there, but we weren't going to bring our people in and run with them, which like some of my girls just did this Instant Pot group, and I was like, oh, this would be really fun, but I don't want to like bring people into here and like get them all in these different groups. So I really just kind of suck it up and let them, it's their thing. And I stick to mine, but I just make sure I'm in there watching to help them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I definitely love that. So, and then I had a couple questions. I have a ton, but I want to have them answer too. Jamie said, yes, she needs to figure out how to not give everything. Do you have any tips like in the free groups on things that have I wrote a couple things down, like you had talked about so what I love is I almost feel like your free groups are kind of like Instagram stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you guys really think about it, your free groups are a lot like Instagram stories. You're giving a lot for free, but then you're kind of letting them into the aspect of being invited to something as well.
Yep.
It's just more of a private place, so they might feel more comfortable to ask you a question. But some of the things that you said that you post, and so Jamie, this might help, but I'd love to see what you say, Lindsay, is you tell them about your system. You tell them about your shake. You tell them how you save time, like on your workouts and meal prep, how you're kind of sharing a lot of that. What are your struggles? You ask them some of those questions. And your nutrition system. You tell them about your nutrition system without telling them what exactly it is really per se. Is that kind of, what you were saying, right?
Yeah. So you want to. So I think in the case of Alana and the 2B mindset, I do think her Instagram has helped me understand how to like give enough but not give it all, because she
she's great. If you guys don't follow her, she's 2B Mindset Alana on Instagram.
Yeah, Alana Molstein.
Yeah.
She would, so like when she was developing the test group, or when she was developing the program and the test group was going on, all you ever saw was water first, veggies most. You never knew about tracking. You didn't understand what emotional eating meant. You didn't understand the more shawarma. Like there's so much more in depth to the system. And that comes with purchasing the program and the package. And so, and if you're a ultimate portion fix kind of person, it's the same idea. Like there's so much in depth to that. And it's simply taking, like, if you study a little bit of Autumn and what she does, or go study the Ultimate Portion Fix page and what she's posting, and just kind of look at the couple of, hopefully I'm more 2B than I am the containers, but so it's hard for me to answer that for Autumn, but hopefully she's sharing just a couple things that doesn't give you everything, but it gives you enough. That is what I share. And so I always think, I always talk about this, the weight loss secret is water and sleep, because I remember her saying, get more sleep. She was like, oh, people lose more weight on the weekends because they sleep and rest more. And I was like, elegant. Like there's just some of these very basic things that I'm like, I never thought about that. But what I learned is it's true. If you drink more water, you're going to flush more out, right? And if you eat more veggies, we know that's an obvious way that you're going to make progress. And so by just simply using that as my way of adding some, like, people are just mind blown when they hear like, oh, drink more water. Oh, like, it's just like one of those most basic, like, they're thinking they need to work out for 4 hours, but it's like, no.
How much weight did you lose with 2B Mindset? Because I know
35.
35?
Yeah.
35 freaking pounds, you guys. If you haven't seen Lindsay's before, you were part of the test group for it, right?
Yeah, I did have that benefit.
It was amazing. Like, you guys, her transformation was stupid, and part of our plan actually follows part of the 2B Mindset with the more veggies, more water, all of that. So it really is, you guys, I think I spelled her name right on here, but her visuals are stupid good. You guys could steal so many of those. I wanted to ask you about, real quick, and then I want to get to Kelly's question. Just because I've never done this, and so something is just getting, thinking outside the box. So you purchased a package on Etsy that was called Busy Mom Package.
It was something busy or non-cooking challenge. It's like one of those. If you look up Danielle Nazier design, you guys will just, your minds will be blown. Like, her stuff is so pretty.
How do you spell her last name?
Nazir.
Okay. Danielle.
Or if you were to go like Beachbody, what do they call them? Graphics? Anyways, play on Etsy. Like, some of them are $7, like some of them are 20. It just depends what you want, and your brain will be like, her graphics are so pretty. It's like,
oh, I'm excited. I'm gonna check it out for sure. I wanted to. So Jamie, I hope we answered that. I think that there is. I do think that not giving more is something that you learn through running groups. I think it's kind of a learned process, because I want to say, like, when I first started running them, I really sucked at that. I think I gave too much, but then you also don't want to not give enough. So, like, you're trying to find that balance, and I think it really is just like Lindsay. I love how you balance. Like, you let them into your fridge, you let them into your pantry, but you still showed them that, like, the Beachbody bars are a part of it, and that the shakes are a part of it, and you explained to them why. And so I think that was really cool. And you recognize that time management is awful. We all cut corners, and you share all those things that you're already doing, right? I just bought a pre-made salad today for $10 because I didn't want to have to freaking make one. So I soaked it. I was like, my husband's like, that looks really good. I'm like, I know. And I don't even care that it was about $5 more than I wanted to spend. I needed it, and I didn't care.
Yeah.
So Kelly said, so you run the free group. Then once a person becomes a customer or a coach, do you move them over to your client customer groups?
Yeah. So once they've signed up, so I had like 2 ladies just join, and at my last free challenge, 2 joined, and they ordered their package, and then they got moved to the boot camp. We call it the squad. That's where our team's been hanging out in what we call the squad. So that's where she got welcomed into the squad, and I definitely create FOMO around that. I don't talk about it too much within the free challenge. I think I should a little bit more now that I'm saying this out loud. That's more my Instagram stories daily FOMO situation, where I'm like, in the squad, you're in the squad, and make people feel like they want to get in. But yeah, so she gets welcomed to the squad, and she gets a goodie bag, because like, that's something you want to do is, if they ordered Shakeology, send them some sticks of Energize, because the more they order and fall in love, the more opportunity you have to not only grow your volume, but an advocate becomes an amazing coach as well. So that's kind of a side note. But yeah, they will stay in the free group, but they'll also go into the paid group, where we have extra, like, I have a coach who's a foodie. She's lost over 200 pounds, like crazy awesome results, and she's all about taking meals, and she makes you drool over pictures, and like, you can have a graphic lady do this too, a graphic designer, but she's just great at that, and I'm great at the motivational side of it, because we all know I'm not the cook. She's like total opposite of me, but like, those things create like, oh, I need to be a part of that too. So there's all kinds of creative ways you can bring people through. But yeah, that's my long drawn out answer to yes, they go to the paid group.
Yeah, and I think it sounds like you do super similar. So when I would run free groups, you guys, I would give prizes, and maybe you could give some examples, and I want to finish Kelly's question. I would get like samples of the pre-workout and then like the bars, like the little things, and those would be the prizes I would give out to people in the free groups. Is that what you do too, Lindsay? And how do you give them to the free groups? Is it like a once a week thing when you're running it for whoever's the most active? Like, how do you determine that?
Oh, that's a good question. I am an intuitive girl, which is why 2B Mindset and me get along so well, because I'm like, just let me go with the flow. I just want to go with the flow. So yeah, some weeks I'm all in, like, I want to send all the people things. And then some weeks I'm just like, I'm not even thinking about it. So I feel like I have a really bad structure, but I go with the flow. Like there's this girl I really badly want to become a coach. Yeah. So I'm sending her Shakeology. She keeps posting these superfood things. I'm like, no. If we're not gonna have I'm just gonna send you these things and you're gonna try them. It's like I feel like I always have to feel people out, and so my answer to that would be go with what you feel is best. Yeah,
totally. But I love that. Her next question was, for your free groups, do you use the same full group every single time? And if so, do you leave the content, the post up for the previous topics in there, like for another group? Like, do you like just continually just keep going from where it left off and keep it
going? Yeah, because why not? They're like, oh,
that makes our life so much easier.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my story and what has brought me to this business and has brought such success to me. Like, if you were to be like, what did you, how did, whatever, it's the consistency of the showing up every single day. And the fact that they can see, like, oh, she's run this challenge before. Oh, look, there she's been. She's always there for us. So I can trust her if and when I'm ready to say yes to her. And so I don't feel like if I make it a clean group, I could care less about it, being organized. If I know it sounds really bad, but I mean, I just don't need that, because I want them to see, like, our stories are not organized. We're kind of crazy on our stories, right? But we're there. We're every day. We're like dancing or we're doing things. And so in the group, it's just the same idea. Oh, and I will say, sometimes when I'm, and I totally didn't post in the group today, but like if you do your feed posts, your Insta or your Facebook, I try to remember, like, don't forget to post to the free group as well. The other day I made the Shakeology balls, and I know you make those balls because I remember.
Yeah, I saw your balls.
Oh, did you? So I made them the other day. We were going to a Halloween party. I was like, hey, Lindsay, you're either going to lose your mind and eat all the things, or you're going to make these, eat them, and survive. And I made them right before we left. I had a couple of them, and I did not touch a thing at that party. And anything you could ever want in the chips, popcorn, pretzels, chocolate, candy department was literally at this party. And I was just like, whoa. And I literally walked out of there having just drank water. I was just like, who are you? But it was because I had those. And so I remembered, like, post to Facebook, get in that free, make sure you post a free group, make sure you post to Instagram, and just create, get people like, what is that? What did you make? What did you do? And so, like, I try to remember to do that as well in the free group. Like today I forgot to do it, but with that recipe I did remember, and people were like, what's the recipe? And so it's just trying to be mindful of that stuff. But yeah, I literally do not delete anything unless I'm like, oh, that was dumb, I don't need that. Like if I screw up a live. And what's so cool about free communities, you guys, like, here's what's really cool. Right now I could go live. I'm not running a free challenge at the moment. I think I ran one a couple weeks ago, but I could go live in the group tonight, tomorrow, and I could talk all about No Excuses November, my upcoming new theme in the squad, because the squad continues on. But I could talk about that and be like, I have 3 spots available, you guys. Like, I could literally just go in and tell them all about how I've been rocking MM100. I'm on workout 80. Tomorrow's 87. I could talk about my results. I could talk about the nutrition system, and I never shut up about the nutrition system. Why would I? why would I? It's like literally
Yeah,
changed my life, right?
Yeah, I like that you call it nutrition system. I think that that's a great way to talk about it because it is a system that works. And I think that we let all the like little tools like overcomplicate our starting. I think I want to share a couple of things just with you guys. And if you guys have any last questions before we end the call, but I think the thing I love most about what you've shared tonight, Lindsay, is there's no plan. Like there's no set, it has to be this way. It has to be, when you have a system that works. But I think that things about free groups is we get overwhelmed with, I've got to make it perfect. And it really doesn't have to be because you're leading with your heart and you're giving so much for free. It doesn't matter. And like you said, you're like, I forgot to post today. It's not a big deal. But I do love that you did share these things. You said, number one, you go live on day one and you share your story. And you don't sit there but it's almost like you just share the story from day one, why you became a coach, why you did this, like how much weight you've lost, what your journey's been like, how you felt like with your heart. You know, what was it? Kendra was saying, the first comment on our page, Kendra Budd, she was saying she had that same heart condition that you had. Exactly.
Oh, really?
25 years old of age. Like, and all of a sudden people can relate to you because they're like, oh my God, that's my struggle. And it was like day 3, you said, you go live from your kitchen. You let him into your kit, you know, then that makes you go to the store and get everything organized. And then you let him in your fridge and your pantry. And then you show them this stuff, but you know, there's still Shakeology there and there's still the bars. And so you're just really letting them into your life and your heart. And I think that just knowing that system and then recognizing those people that are the people that show up and the people that comment, those are your people. Like those are your humans because they're basically doing what you're doing, but they're not getting paid, you know? So I really appreciate that there's like, because I get asked a lot, you know, what's the system, you know, what I post on day 1, day 2, and I'm like, dude, fly by the seat of your pants, have fun, give as much as you can, and just be authentically you. And, you know.
And it teaches your coaches because they're watching, and sometimes they bring the energy to the group for you because they're like, ooh, you know, like they see you come on like, hi, you know, and then there's like more energy from them. And that makes it like, it helps to have, I always feel like the bigger, the more energy, the more FOMO that they're like, ooh, I got to be a part of whatever else they do because this is awesome. So you do have to really be energetic with the challenge. I don't feel you have to be fully energetic. Like right now, I haven't even been in the group today, but there has been at least a post made because it's Monday. Today's Monday, right? Yeah. Monday. So there was a motivational post and quote made and they were like, hey, she was here. And it just shows me consistent. And of course they can see me, you know, dancing around my stories, doing my thing as well. So
I love it. I think I'm going to do one because I've had so many people, it's insane, request me to share a lot more of my like new makeup things that I'm loving. I've got a bunch of new things I'm going to share this whole next week. And it could be a way that I could kind of share that and at the same time provide so much great information, but then also let you guys, you know, the team, I can go live and show you guys what I'm doing and have you guys see what's happening behind the scenes each day. So I definitely think, especially with Halloween, you guys, like, oh my God, I don't feel this way now because we all have like the shred plan and we've all got like a system we follow. But you guys, I remember literally going trick-or-treating with my kids and praying that I didn't have over 25 Reese's peanut butter cups that night. Like, I was like, I hope I only have 10. And if I have 10, that is so golden. And I remember being like, and then I remember the next day waking up and I had 15 for breakfast. Like, I legit, and now I'm like, I have 1 or 2 and I'm fine. Like, it's so, like, I remember being that mom being like, oh my God, I'm going to lose all my results in 48 hours because I'm going to steal all, and then the kids are at school all day, so I'm going to eat all their Reese's peanut butter cups. And I don't know what's going to happen. And I got to throw them in the trash and put soap all over them because I know I'm still going to eat them when I throw them in the trash. Like, I'm that mom. So, like, how am I going to be, like, right now to, like, go out and be like, I don't know about y'all, but I need help, and I'm going to run a free group, and it's going to be an eating no Reese's peanut butter cups group.
And you guys can always create events around Peppermint Mocha Shakeology. Like, I should, hopefully I did. Now I'm like, did I? I should have an event in my free community saying, brand new Shakeology flavor coming out, Peppermint Mocha on Friday, and if they that's a bad example. It's coming, but a good example is the 3-day refresh. So, like, for example, Halloween, like let's just pretend like peppermint mocha's not coming. Halloween is here. Thanksgiving is about to be here. Christmas, all the things. And so like what I do is I'll do 3-day detox with food on sale. Sometimes they do the sales and stuff, and I'll create an event around it. And then they will, I'll make sure I do the inviting of them, like, cause you got to click invite on events, and they will respond and they'll post like, how much does it cost? What does it look like? And that is another very simple way. Now they're not becoming coaches yet or whatever, but it's me introduce. Sometimes you got to start people small, and it's still, income and volume and all the things. And so I find that works really well too, is I can also, like, Bar Blend is coming. So I can simply create a event talking about brand new bar workout from home, the hottest new thing going on right now. And whoever replies to that event that's within the free community, I now know who to bring that information to as well. So the sky is really the limit with the free groups, because I feel safe is that the word? I feel okay with creating events around, the hottest new workout program, or the 3-day, detox with food, or I feel safe doing any of that stuff because all that value's in there. Does that make sense? So like, that's just.
Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So the event is in the free group. Like, you can create events in the free group, and you honestly just had me have this epiphany moment. I'm not even kidding you guys about the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. So I would specifically order the 3-day refresh to be here so that the day after Halloween, whatever day it was, I could do the 3-day refresh, because I know I was going to have 25 to 30 Reese's Peanut Butter Cups in one night. And so I'm like, I'm going to do the 3-day refresh the next day. Who wants to do it with me? And so I'd have tons of people doing it with me. And it was a way in my free group to experience something in the groups without actually investing more than $60, right? Two last questions. In the challenge groups, or like part of the free groups, do you think, Jamie, is that what you mean? Do you give out specific meal plans for everyone, or is this just too much information for the group? Is it more recipes, or do you give full-on meal plans in the free groups?
The dogs are in here.
I definitely do not give. They get a little bit. They don't get a lot. They get recipes, but you have to have. Why would they ever pay you for more if you give it all there? And one of the tricks I taught my my foodie coach, she's just a queen, okay? And I was like, so because her photos, like, you see the pictures and you're just like, can I just move in and you be my chef? Like, she's just that girl. And so like you do not need her in your life for this. However, like, there's graphics out there that you can use. But I taught her, I was like, show the photo, don't give the recipe, but say when they're in your boot camp, they will get it. And so that forces them to be like, oh, like, it's the same thing with Fixate. Like, you're not getting the Fixate cooking channel until you officially have Beachbody on Demand and you've ordered. And so it's I don't know what kind of tactic.
Like Instagram stories where you're like, look what's happening in my groups when you join. Like,
yeah.
Like, I'll do that and kind of show some of the recipes so people can see that they get to have chocolate.
Yes.
They get to have enchiladas. They get to live their life. And they're like, oh, you're normal. You're eating burgers. I'm
yes.
like, yeah. So they get to see it, but they don't get to have the recipe. Yeah. Okay.
Correct. So yeah, don't give, like, you could do a sample meal plan. I want to say I have a sample that I've done before, but some of those things you guys might want to be like, what's your email? I'll email you it. So then you're gathering that as well, because it is good to have everybody's email in case Facebook decides to crash on you.
Someday, yeah.
I mean,
I like the idea too. We could even give like tips. Like, you could give like, what's a good snack in the afternoon to help curb cravings. Like, we can give like those things that we already know, but without giving the whole package. Like, here's when you want to eat your carbs that will kind of help. Like, here's, where you want to place your good fat to help so you don't like eat like, the Halloween candy at night. Like, so maybe like little things like that might kind of help. Kelly's asking, do you ever recommend the 2-week free trial of BOD in this group? And if so, how do you transition them to pain?
I've tried that once and it didn't work. What I find works for me is taking the sampler workouts of MM100, Lift4, Transform, like all those samplers. I download them from Vimeo or wherever, back office, and I upload them there, and then I have them try that. I find that works. The whole bod thing, I have yet to like master that, or Clean Week. I haven't even mastered that guy yet, and how to upgrade them from that, like, which is kind of silly, but I just haven't. So in a case, if I ever wanted to try that, I would probably have to link arms, which would be really challenging because I want to keep them all in a group. But my girls do a lot of things like that, and it works really well for them, the newer girls. So I think you got to try it. I have tried it, and it was like nobody was joining it, and I was just like, okay, I'm just going to post a sample of MM100. I'm just post a sample of Lift4 and just tag them, and they can log on, and that's how I find it works. I haven't even done the whole, like, this is what Beachbody On Demand looks like, filming until they're in the group and have joined.
Some ideas. Definitely some ideas. I'm even thinking about how you could do a Zoom call where they could do a workout with you. But then that's, you could even do something like that, you guys. Like somehow if they could see the workout on the wall with you, they could work out with you. I mean,
that's a great way, because the more you can get them on the Zoom, the more they're going to feel connected, of course, which grows your team, which is the big goal.
You guys could even offer Zoom calls and be like, hey, join me for happy hour, while I'm going to make, some Reese's peanut butter cups while we drink a glass of wine. Like,
you got me thinking about that.
Be like, okay, and just make it fun. So Lindsay, I love this. I love that it just lead with your heart and just lead with, giving them. I love how we're giving them enough, but also creating an event for those people that are ready to learn more. You know what I mean? Because it's almost like when you create a free group, you're like, well, who's ready and who's not? But you see the people that are ready because they're the ones that are. So
yeah. It's taken a lot of trial and error, by the way. So don't expect the first one to be perfect.
Yes.
Like, fall over and just keep growing it and keep. So I have now that I've got the system down, like the 3 live videos are like key to bring people on board. But for stay in your lane.
Can I ask you real quick? You said the first one was go live about your story and tell them what you do. Number 3 was live from the kitchen. What was number 2?
Number two is just posting. It's just posts from the Etsy graphics. Unless I've done a grocery haul from like a unique store. Like, I'm not going to go live with I guess you could go live with your groceries, but I feel like Trader Joe's is very unique. And I feel like people are always like, ooh, what did you get there? Cause it's just unique. Or like a Whole Foods. So like, cause they have some really teaching people how to eat dessert is important. People need to know, cause they want to know that they can have chocolate and or wine, right? And so like learning about Halo Top or Halo Pop Tops, or learning about these mini ice cream cones, or learning about just some really cool things that you guys find that work for you. Like, are you eating a little bit of dark chocolate, and what is it? What's the brand? What's the health behind it? The Beach Bar is a great example as well. But people just, those little things are enough for them to be like, I love her. She just showed me and changed my life, because I can go have ice cream if I want, because I just need to order this kind of ice cream. I just can't have that ice, or I could, but right. And so like those type of things are extra lives, extra posts. But yeah, like that is, the kitchen is all of that. And then the closing answering of the struggles would be your last question. So like, you talked about emotional eating, and you're talking about struggling with cravings, and this is how I do it. You see these balls, no joke. Like, I'm drooling, and I did not eat 1 bite of candy, which I totally could have. It's not like I couldn't have had some. I literally was fine. And so me telling that to these guys, they're like, I need those balls and I need that shake. And like, whatever this girl is doing, I need the nutrition thing too. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just those little tiny things that you guys think, literally you guys have to think about what is a game changer in your results. Like, what is a game changer for you? Is it that you can have a dark chocolate square a dark chocolate square? Is it the Ghirardelli brand because it comes in a little wrapper and you're okay, like you don't overeat it. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's little things that are those bonus tips. And in the case of makeup, I'm sure there's some amazing tips that they just need to know.
Going. I'm so excited. Well, Lindsay, thank you so much. I don't know, y'all. I'm like really excited to run a free group. It's been probably 3 years since I've ran one. So I'm like super pumped, and it couldn't be better timing because I'm like, I literally, as I'm on the call with you, I'm remembering the Rhonda that literally would be like, oh my God, on Halloween, what am I going to do the next day? I remember, oh my God, the kids went to school. Now, what am I going to do with all the candy that they left at home? I remember being that mom because I didn't have any self-control. And I still will indulge and enjoy, but it's not going to be like 25 Reese's peanut butter cups.
Right.
But think of the world. Everybody is wondering right now what they're going to do. And they're praying that everywhere their kids go is not going to be the candy that they like.
And that's a tip.
Yeah.
You know, you guys like, what's your favorite?
Yeah. Lindsay, thank you so much for sharing. I think all of us are excited to kind of start and brainstorm. I know I've even heard free groups on TV shows, like running a This Is Us group. Like so many people like about like, you know, there's other ones. I'm trying to remember. I love how you said a toxic free group. Who couldn't benefit from that during the holidays? Like a toxic free, you know, settle your ass down during the holidays group. Like how great would that be, right? So Lindsay, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
I appreciate everything you shared, and we are so excited to apply it. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Oh my God, absolutely. Have an amazing night. Go kiss those boys for me.
I will.
Bye, Lindsay.
Bye.